What up, YouTube Elleix? Come back at you with another custom StarCraft 2 cast. Today, we have yet again an entirely new race to cover on this channel. They seem to be endless. Today's matchup features the NOD mod with the NOD faction. Let's go ahead and introduce our players, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this mod. Spawning on the top left-hand side of the map, it's our yellow NOD player VISCEROID going up against his opponent. Spawning on the top right-hand side of the map, it's our purple Terran player RedHood. Now, if you're new to this channel and you're looking at this race and you're like, what the hell am I looking at? Well, I cover almost exclusively modded StarCraft 2 content. So what you're seeing right here is a modded StarCraft 2 race, and it's hilarious because my last cast featured the SC2, which I had never seen before, and now we're looking at the NOD mod featuring a race I have also never seen before. Actually, I didn't even know this race was a thing until about 15 minutes ago when I saw it land in my Discord. So big shout out to the developers for working on these mods. It's absolutely insane. If you're new to my channel, by the way, like I said, I cast a lot of custom StarCraft 2 content, so if custom StarCraft 2 is something you're interested in watching more of, please consider subscribing to my channel. Back to the show. We're starting a little bit further into this game than I typically do because the first few minutes of this game were relatively chill, and I wanted to jump right into the action. As we can see, both players have expanded. We have a third base coming down, or already finished actually, for our yellow NOD player. Meanwhile, VISCEROID is also going for some aggression, and RedHood, as is typical Terran fashion, is turtled up into the natural base location, and I love that. Now, the NOD, I don't know, they give me like Warhammer vibes. I mean, look at this. We have a NOD engineer, which is a healer. We also have the Avenger tank, and we have the Devout. So this is like, I don't know, some sort of, I don't want to say a religious faction, but they live off propaganda, and I feel like they would not take heresy kindly. That's all I'm gonna say. But this race looks crazy. Like I said, I didn't know they existed until about 15 minutes ago, but I did vet this game just a little bit so I could figure out a little bit of the mechanics for this faction. So we do have the Reckoner pack, excuse me, and I believe this thing can burrow and actually go up onto the high ground, I think, but I'm not entirely sure, or maybe it's the scalpel that lifted it. I'll be real with you, I got to about 10 minutes into this game, we're 7 minutes into this game, and I saw this Reckoner pack actually made it to the high ground, so we'll see if that's what happens here in a sec. Right, okay, here we go, and it burrows, and it actually burrows up cliffs. That's insane. So we have kind of this weird pseudo drop into the main base for RedHood. RedHood is reacting to this pretty well. We do have a siege tank just next to the main base, or sorry, to the main command center. How many workers actually went down? 6 workers killed so far. That Reckoner pack did go down. We do have a few units here that did survive, and there's a black hand here that's effectively a fire bat doing so much damage to the economy for RedHood. 12 workers killed total in that engagement. Let's take a look at the resources lost, though. Resources lost way in favor for RedHood. 4,000 resources lost for our yellow player, only 700 resources lost for our purple Terran player. We'll see. We'll see if RedHood decides to go for the counterattack. Usually when you hold off a push like that, you want to go for the counter because you can presume that you are ahead in supply. We do have a few units left over, actually forcing the purple Terran back home to towards the natural base location. Ultimately, though, RedHood did come out way ahead once again in this engagement. 4,600 resources lost by yellow, 800 resources lost by purple. Let's take a look at what's going on here as well. We have a drop on the sneaky 4th base for VISCEROID. VISCEROID does lose this base. And now RedHood going towards base number 3, and base number 3 is not protected at all. And the supply is looking way in favor for our purple Terran player as well. 94 total supply for yellow, 133 for purple, now 146 for purple. But VISCEROID has to know that there is a potential attack coming towards base number 3. We have a Basilisk here as well. The Basilisk is kind of a long-range flying unit, I want to say. So it can immobilize units, and it has a long-range attack. Take a look at this. This is absolutely insane. Will this medevac go down? Just barely manages to escape. That is a good reaction from our purple Terran player, RedHood. Man, these mods are absolutely crazy, truly endless. I can't get over it. The fact that I didn't know this was a race until, like I said, at this point 20 minutes ago is hilarious to me. We have another ship here. This is the Medusa, which is kind of a flying supporting unit. I think it can heal units and it can attack as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it does do ground attack and it also heals units. It can provide support. So not a bad unit at all. We also have the flame tank, which is basically a flamethrower siege tank. As you can see, this is a heavy tank, can be switched to siege mode to provide long-range artillery fire. But this is looking like a really scary army for purple, I gotta say. Now, I don't know if that tank... I don't know the range, actually, when it goes into siege mode. Does it say? I actually didn't get a look on that siege tank to see if it does say what its range is, but this is looking like a really good engagement for RedHood, man. Oh no, this is looking really awful. What do we have for supply? We have 103 supply for yellow. What is this? We have a Redeemer. Oh, what? This is like a Colossus on steroids. It's got 1,000 HP. And it has 27 kills now. What is this? It has a confusion ability. All enemies in 9 range from the Redeemer will attack each other for 5 seconds. That is broken, bro. This thing has to cost so much money. Where did it come from? Is it this? Okay, so it's from the construction yard. It takes 4 seconds to build, which is crazy. But it costs 800. And how much supply? 10 supply? So you have to have supply and you have to have the resources to do it, but this is basically your Hail Mary unit, and it totally kept VISCEROID in the game, by the way. That army, it was what, 109 supply to 172 supply, and VISCEROID is still comfortably in this game, and this one unit has 27 kills, and the thing is, this is like a summon unit. You can only have one of them, and yes, it does cost 800 minerals and 800 gas, but it's not a temporary unit. At that price, it shouldn't be. But that is insane. What is the cooldown on this confusion ability? Because that is also insane. And speaking of confusion, I am very confusion. This base will get denied. It looks like RedHood was actually going to try and land here and accidentally discovered a sneaky 4th base once again by VISCEROID. Okay, that is crazy. That animation is wild. We have the Hand of Nod, which seems to be almost like a barracks equivalent, I want to say. Ultimately, though, it looks like RedHood may come out ahead in this engagement unless this Redeemer does something insane. It's got 40 kills right now. It will go down, and look at that kill animation. That is so cool. What is this? We have a Leviathan as well. Okay, wait a minute. So this is the ultimate battleship that can deal AoE damage, and it has interceptors. This is basically a mothership with interceptors. What? And it has 8 of them. That is hilarious. Where did this come from? This has to cost money. Wait a minute. Okay, helipad right here. I assume it's this. Here we go. Build Leviathan. Okay, so also 800, and you can only have one of them. And it can be used against ground and air. So I don't really know if the Nod are like a capital ship or capital unit-based race. It seems like they are with the Redeemer and the Leviathan alone. I mean, these things are insane. RedHood on the retreat once again. Unfortunately, this planetary fortress can't do much against the Leviathan, I feel like. Excuse me. I was distracted by these rockets. Oh, no. There it goes. The planetary fortress does go down. Now, 17 workers killed by yellow, 22 killed by purple, actually, because we have a sneaky drop right here in the natural base location. This is actually going to be a huge pickup for for our purple player. Meanwhile, RedHood is trying to lock down the ramp towards the third base, but this Leviathan with 22 kills is doing absolute carnage on the purple side of the map. That is insane. We do have the interference matrix on this, which disables weapons and abilities. VISCEROID is freaking out right now. This Leviathan is still alive with 49 kills to its name before it goes down. Unfortunately, I cannot read Russian. Fun fact, though, my first language was Polish. You would not guess that, so I can read some Polish, but I cannot read Russian. Polish I can read almost fully. It's just, you know, English is like my primary language right now, so it actually takes me brain power to read Polish, whereas, you know, English, it just, like, appears in your brain, if you know what I mean. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at the resources lost, actually, because that was insane. 20,000 resources lost now, 22,000 resources lost by yellow, 14,000 resources lost by purple, so RedHood is still ahead. We have another Redeemer here that has warped in to the sneaky fourth base. It comes in with immediately 18 kills. I feel like that confusion ability keeps it alive. RedHood is saying something that I cannot understand. This is actually insane. Also, let's take a look at just the... you know, the macro. Look at this. This is so cool looking. We have power plants, which I assume provide, what is this, supply? Provide supplies to NOD troops, or to NOD troops, and increases the supply limit. Yeah, so those are basically supply depots. And based on how NOD is spelled, it's lowercase. It's like capital N, a lowercase OD. I assume it's meant to be pronounced NOD, not NOD. So I don't think NOD is like an alias for anything. I think it's literally just NOD. But this Redeemer is so sick. It's just a giant metal robot. Like, I mean, robots are, like, I guess it's a given that they're metal. You know what? It's fine. Roast me in the comments. I don't care. Oh, man. This is crazy, dude. This is insane. Also, I wanted to point out the Hand of Nod. Look at this. This is such a cool structure design. Like, the orb and the hand holding the orb. So sick, bro. So sick. Anyway, both players are kind of chilling. How many workers went down total this game? 32 workers killed by yellow, 22 by purple. We're at 16 minutes into the game. I feel like this is still anybody's game. And also, by the way, I want to point it out. I don't know what the state of this mod is. I don't know if this is like an alpha state, because like I said, I didn't know this was a thing. So I don't know when it was developed necessarily. We also had a stealth tank, which is very cool. I wonder if it's stealthed until... Yep, uncloaked when attacking. That was my guess. So it cloaks when it stops attacking. Very sick. And it uncloaks when it attacks. That would be a really good run-by unit for, like, mineral lines. Also, its range is kind of crazy. It just took down a siege tank across this little cliff. All right, this bunker will possibly finish. Great reaction by RedHood as well. Keeping his stuff alive will allow the bunker to finish. I feel like that's going to be huge. A scan on this. We also have, what are these? It's a scorpion tank, which is like a burrowing tank. Look at this thing. That is wild, and it can move around while burrowed. Oh, man, but this tank actually shoots up. If you saw that, the medevac did go down. Does it really shoot air and ground? It does. What about the scorpion tank? Ah, scorpion tank's down. So is that cloak tank, stealth tank, I should say. Meanwhile, base number 4 is under fire once again. The planetary fortress with the 10 kills, though, doing well to keep itself alive with the support of those SCVs. Now, those are mines that you keep seeing, and I'm pretty sure those are built by... Where is it? Is it this? No, it's not the Ascended. I don't know where those mines are coming from. I'll be real with you guys. Also, the two capital units right here, the Redeemer and the Leviathan, 1,600 resources for both of those things combined. 1,600 minerals and 1,600 gas. Absolutely disgusting, by the way. I really like the design of this race, though. It really brings the grit in StarCraft 2, I feel like. And I really don't want to go on a Stormgate rant right now, but the thing is, I feel like Stormgate just looks way too cartoony for me. I can't get into it. Obviously, it has a lot of work ahead of it to, you know, make it a playable game, in my opinion, but it just doesn't look good. And I feel like that's just the art direction that they went for, and, you know, it's unfortunate, and, you know, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It's, you know, not mine, but it might be your guys's. I don't know, but I just like the grit of StarCraft 2, man. It looks so sick. And the graphics have really held up. I mean, this game is what, over 10 years old at this point, and it looks so good still. It's crazy. Anyway, we have a move out potentially towards base number 4. Oh, this is looking like a really scary army, though, and the army supply is crazy. It's 125 to 178. Sorry, the total supply is 125 to 178 in favor for our purple Terran player. This base looked like base number 6 for VISCEROID did go down, but meanwhile, we have an attack at base number 3. But RedHood doing a great job at keeping his army split enough to have defenses, but now we have the capital units, and here we go. We have confusion that just procced, and RedHood realizing what that confusion ability is, moving his army away from the Redeemer, because if you're within 9 range of that Redeemer while confusion is active, your units start attacking each other, which is hilarious. But that reaction by RedHood was perfect. Will be able to force these units away. The Leviathan with that interference matrix will be effectively blinded. Same with the Redeemer. The Leviathan ultimately going down. The Redeemer will possibly go down. It does have 600 HP left, but there's nothing left here, and these Ravens are doing a great job at keeping this Redeemer out of the game, and there it goes. The Redeemer is down, and now the sneaky, what is this, base number 4 or 5, I don't recall, will likely go down as well. A great play by RedHood so far in this long engagement. Taking a look at the resources lost, 38,000 resources lost by yellow, 23,000 resources lost by purple. So RedHood is ahead in the resources lost. Taking a look at the units, because we haven't looked at them for a while, we have 41 slaves, because I guess the Nod race uses slaves. Yep, they're the workers. There it is. That's a slave, apparently. And what do we have here? 43 SCVs for purple. Taking a look at the workers killed, 37 workers killed by yellow, 48 workers killed by purple. I don't know, you guys. Start taking bets. I think this is looking like it's possibly in favor for RedHood. In VISCEROID's defense, though, I don't know what his experience is with this race. I would lose very quickly. We have a Salamander as well. What is this? A powerful Nod battleship has 4 auto-aiming rocket launchers facing all directions. That's hilarious. Which can drop liquefied Tiberium downwards, causing burning in an area. Okay, so it causes units to burn. Oh, and here we go. We have a flame mine. What is this? So it's a auto-detonating mine. It ignites the ground, causing burning damage as well. Very interesting. Now, let's see how much the Salamander costs. I assume it comes out of the helipad. And here it is, I think, the Salamander. It costs 325 minerals, 250 gas, large battleship, but not a unique battleship, not like the Redeemer or the Leviathan. This is a crazy mod, man. Also, one thing that tells me it might be new is the portraits are all the same. It looks like it's just the Nod logo, so there aren't any like rendered 3D models for these units in their like little portrait area. I really want to see these flame tanks siege up. Also, I want to see what the artillery looks like. Here we go. We have the support units as well. The Medusa, which I don't know if it can heal everything, so it can provide armor to allies and restore health, but I don't know if it heals, like, you know, all units or just certain units. I really don't know. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Here we go. We have an engagement kind of building up in the middle of the map. Taking a look at the supply, though, purple is maxed out, and we have 140 supply for our yellow player. Here we go. We have confusion that did proc on the Redeemer. The Redeemer is blinded, though. These Ravens are doing a great job at shutting down the capital units for the Nod player VISCEROID. And here's the thing. If you're relying on, like, capital units, if it's, like, a faction that relies heavily on, you know, single build units, the Raven basically shuts that down. So great job by RedHood realizing, hey, look, I need a way to answer these crazy units, because as we saw earlier in the game, the Redeemer had like almost instantly like 30 kills or something, and by the time the first Leviathan went down, it had 49 kills, if I'm recalling that correctly. Absolutely disgusting, by the way. Now, what's also really good about the interference matrix is I'm pretty sure it prevents the Leviathan from launching its interceptors, so it really basically makes it a really expensive paperweight, both the Leviathan and the Redeemer. Okay, so these are looking like some scary units, though. We have the Salamander, we have the Basilisk, which we saw earlier this game, the kind of long-range flying unit, and obviously the capital units, the Redeemer and that Leviathan. Taking a look at what Purple's got going on, we have basically a mix of everything. We have Bio, we have the Vikings, we have the Ravens. Oh, this is sick. By the way, I forgot to mention it. There is the Nod mod, but I don't know for a fact if this mod is also available in the All Races mod, which puts multiple modded races into one StarCraft 2 game. Absolutely insane. Things are a little bit quiet right now, but this is looking really scary. I mean, both players are effectively maxed out. I think RedHood is just having a little bit of trouble deciding how to answer this army, but I like this. Moving part of the Bio army towards the other side of the map. Oh, what are these? We have Purifiers as well. What does this do? So this is a powerful infantry mecha unit that can cause a lot of damage. Okay, great. It targets ground units, by the way. Oh, man. We'll see if these Purifiers turn around, because the main base is under siege by the Marauders. Simultaneously, we have an engagement in the middle of the map by these two players. This planetary fortress will instantly go down. Meanwhile, these Marauders are still alive, and we're entering what is potentially a pseudo base race situation. VISCEROID's not even bothering to answer these Marauders. This planetary fortress is still alive. This one starting to do some damage. It does have 15 kills. So many interference matrices, or matrices I should say, on all these flying units, and they're big units, so they are easy to target. The supply is still relatively even, though, and these units do survive. It looks like the Ravens possibly go down. The main base is effectively getting cleaned up by our purple Terran player RedHood. And I think we're officially in a base race situation. I mean, I don't know, man. The supply is in favor for VISCEROID. What VISCEROID could possibly do is intercept those Marauders and try to save some of his base. I mean, the Marauders don't shoot up. What I would potentially do is maybe move one of my flying units, maybe even the Leviathan, if it's not too slow moving, and try and do something about this. I mean, to be fair, there are medevacs, though, so RedHood could just run away, you know? I don't know, man. I think this is a base race, officially. I don't know what they're saying. I wish I could read Russian, but I cannot. There's no way this is not a base race. I mean, both players have bases kind of on the bottom side of the map. We do have this sneaky base on the bottom right-hand side of the map for our purple Terran player. The main base is effectively cleaned up for VISCEROID. Meanwhile, VISCEROID is now just starting to clean up the main base for RedHood. This is turning out to be a crazy game, you guys. This is wild. And here we go. The main base will likely go down relatively soon, but these Marauders, the hero Marauders, walking over these mines, that is a huge pickup. Potential pickup for VISCEROID, but luckily the Marauders do have that medevac support. They will survive, and now it looks like VISCEROID realizing, hey, look, I gotta do something about these Marauders before I straight up lose the game. And now I think my money is on VISCEROID, just because all the all the macro is destroyed for our purple player effectively, and there's no anti-air. It's just Marauders. So as soon as these Marauders go down, I mean, it's over. But with these medevacs, they are relatively mobile. So RedHood could still win this game by just destroying all the structures. And here we go. Is this all that's left? I think that's all that's left down here on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Will RedHood win this game? This is the most insane base race I've seen. VISCEROID has not rebuilt his base. Is that it? No, there's more. There's more structures. What else does VISCEROID have? Wait a minute. Structures T. Wait a minute. How is VISCEROID still in this game? I don't know. But I think technically VISCEROID, okay, here we go. Maybe it was lag, or maybe VISCEROID realized it was a bug and left the game and graciously gave RedHood the victory. But either way, unless that's GG, I don't know. No, it shouldn't be GG. Anyway, VISCEROID leaving the game, RedHood winning that base race. That was absolutely insane. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.